What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. I am the Kingmaker, Jason.
And I'm Ant, the second voice tonight, Jason?
Yeah, we have to modify you for this week, don't we? There's no James.
No James.
No James. So the third voice is now the second voice.
With the second voice tonight. I've made it. I've gone up a rank.
You have.
Just for the episode.
You have. But yeah, so we'll all keep getting our own little nicknames, you know. I want to try and get mine in there.
And you got it in.
My self-proclaimed Kingmaker.
You finally come to the one that you wanted now. Not the head of the table now, it's now the Kingmaker.
That's right. I am the Kingmaker, and I kind of took that from your other podcast.
Oh, fair enough.
You've quite often called me the Kingmaker on there, so I thought, you know what, I quite like that.
I used to keep getting it wrong when I first heard that saying. I used to keep calling you Kingslayer. That sounds even better, really, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But I quite enjoy ruining people's lives, and
just like a normal boss.
Yeah, you're about to win the game. Well, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen, and I'm going to gift the game to you because I ain't got a hope in hell.
Yes, you definitely do play like that.
Well, I'm not a spiteful person, but if at any point you've done anything negative towards me within that game, then you will pay the consequences for your actions.
Absolutely.
Actions have consequences.
Take note, everyone who plays with him.
Exactly. Anyway, third voice, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah. Busy week?
Busy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
what have you been up to? Anything good?
No. Just working.
Yeah. But with good reason, though, at the moment, right?
Why? Because of the subject. I got confused then for a sec. No, yes, unfortunately, 2 jobs, so it is going towards something very...
Yeah.
something that I need for the... next month, so I'm sure we'll talk about it in a sec.
Yeah, we are. The countdown has begun.
It has,
hasn't it? I think we were officially going to start the countdown for this last week, but then work, personal issues, and all sorts of things happened all within a couple of days, and we didn't get an episode out. Our apologies for that.
Is what it is. You can't help it sometimes.
The countdown is officially on for us now. We are within a month.
Ooh.
In fact, on the day that we're recording this, it's a Thursday. Okay.
It is. So it'll be like 3 weeks.
Exactly 3 weeks.
Is it 3 weeks?
In fact, it's 7:15 now. So this time in 3 weeks, day one will be over.
We'll be walking back with our games, mate.
Yeah, probably with a bad back because there's a crazy amount of games. Probably considering where the hell am I going to put these in my case? How the hell am I going to?
How we're going to get them back? Yeah.
Probably looking at where's the nearest supermarket where I can buy another case.
Yep. And I'm sure we'll vlog it all just to show our hands.
Oh yeah. I'm going to try my hand at the vlogging thing, I think, this time. Because I just think it would be hilarious.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Us and our travels on BA. I think we are flying BA, aren't we?
Yeah.
Bloody awful. I mean, British Airways.
Don't ever.
That's the one.
Don't jinx it now, whatever you do.
Joe, I'm genuinely nervous. I've never travelled BA before.
Okay.
I'm a Virgin Atlantic guy.
Okay.
I always travelled transatlantic on Virgin, but I've heard good and bad things about BA. I've heard
about any airline, really, isn't it?
This is very true. I mean, the worst thing I've heard really with BA is they have a timetable and they like to not stick to it. So, okay, they're going to be late. Oh, well. I mean, are we talking 24 hours late or are we talking 10 minutes late?
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered by a minor delay. Right?
No one ever is by minor delays. It's the big delays that people don't want.
As long as a volcano doesn't explode in Iceland
or if Microsoft gets hacked or anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And worst case scenario, if security at the airport's awful, we'll get you to step in.
That's Heathrow for you, mate. Yeah. A bit like John McClane stepping in.
So this is a bunch of firsts for me this year because I've never been to Essen.
Okay.
I've never flown from Heathrow.
Okay.
It's the first time for the Meeple Minded to be at Essen is another big thing, so I'm very excited about that. But I haven't been out of this country to to my dismay, in near on 15 years.
Wow. So this is actually literally the first trip out there for that long.
It is. It's a hell of a long time since I last. It might not be quite 15. It's somewhere between 10 and 15. I'm pretty sure it's over 12, but yeah.
But you're doing it, mate. Yeah. You're actually going this time.
Well, this was the thing, because obviously I was meant to be going last year.
That's right.
I had all my tickets and stuff booked and all of that joys, and didn't think to check my passport, which had obviously expired. And that's what really made me realise how long it's been since I left the country, because that was a passport that was never used. And our passports are valid for 10 years.
Yeah, true.
So it was over 10 years last year. So it's clearly over 12 years now. So, yeah.
And we're not in the EU anymore, so you'll get it stamped as well.
Exactly. It'll be stamped, which is even better. And it's blue and everything. I've got one of those lovely new British passports to tell people that I'm...
Oh, you haven't got a cover for it, though, have you? That's annoying.
No,
yeah.
I don't. I've never really understood why people have.
I don't either. It's
I don't get it. I don't get it. But what can you do?
Just gets in the
some
way.
People like it. There's the voice of a security airport security man right there.
Yeah, just gets in the way. Just take it off. It's annoying.
Maybe that's what you should do as part of your job. Be like that, like the secretary from Little Britain. But instead of coughing, just rip the thing off.
Rip it all out.
You go. Have that. You can have your passport.
Get that out of here.
Or change the rules.
That would be one of my...
You're not allowed through if you've got one of them.
That would be one of my complaints. And do you remember that show, Room 101? And it's always about, you talk about something and then they discuss you should get rid of it or not.
Yeah. Passport
covers would be in that.
Yeah. I mean, it's an official document. I don't really understand why.
But the cover isn't.
Yeah. Exactly. Is that, well, you shouldn't be allowed to travel.
It doesn't need to be there. It's annoying. Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, moving on. We're having a little discussion today about prepping for Spiel. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because I am getting pretty nervous. I must be honest, because this is a big step for me. And I want your experience because you have been a couple of times.
Yes, but I haven't been last year, so stuff might have changed since then. So don't quote me on any of this, guys. Because I'm sure people that went last year go, no, he's wrong. No. What a load of garbage.
I'm looking forward to the comment section. Which, and again, if people do have recommendations, then, comment section.
Comment below, let us know.
Email, social media, all of that garbage.
All that jazz. All that
garbage. That's what we should refer to it. It's not social media, so it's just garbage.
It's just garbage.
But, are you ready to have a little discussion about Spiel? Get yourself excited.
Let's do it.
So, first off, Anne, I want to ask you a few questions because I need some answers to make myself feel better, really.
Okay.
So, for context, I've obviously been going to UK Games Expo for quite a few years now. However, I had a nice, gentle slide into the convention scene within board games because my very first expo was actually the first one they did after the COVID pandemic.
Okay. Where
it was still not very big. It was half the attendance of normal. Everything had wider aisles.
Right.
All of that kind of jazz. It wasn't as big. So it was kind of like a nice sort of gentle...
So not as busy either.
It was nowhere near as busy.
Right, okay.
And of course, I've been every year since then. But it's got progressively busier till now where it's back to full strength and it's hitting record numbers. So I'm used to the UK Games Expo.
Yeah.
Now, I think that would have been slightly different if it had been... My first time would have been going to a full-strength UK Games Expo. I probably would have been a bit overwhelmed and all of that kind of jazz. But the question really is, how do you feel Spiel differs from UK Games Expo? Because you did get that sort of dumping in at the deep end because Spiel was your first board game convention.
It was my first one, yeah. That's right.
So, yeah, how do you feel it differs from UK Games Expo? I haven't done both.
It's odd because I wish I'd probably done it the other way around. Because I've been to the bigger one. This is like Expo has 3 halls. This has 6 in the day. So it's not as bad the first few days. You have room to travel and room to look around.
Yeah.
But I remember when I went back to Expo like the year after that, and it was you get so much wider variety of stalls. So they're not just board game stalls or people trying to sell their stuff. There are other stalls that do 3D printing and all this other stuff. Just everything to do, but more of it.
Yeah.
And you kind of find yourself overwhelmed. Like this is here. So when I went to Expo, I was expecting sort of this here, but in a smaller range of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that with Expo.
Right.
So I do prefer Essen because I think there is more for you as a gamer there. We went back and spoke when we said about Expo how we couldn't find anyone selling card sleeves.
Yeah.
For example.
Whereas I'm guessing that is not a problem.
There's a whole entire aisle of shops that do it there. It's unreal. Right. So, yeah, there's just way more to it than what I expected. But so I went in the good end, like you said, the good end first. And then when I went to Expo, I was kind of disappointed because not even half of what was at Essen was at Expo.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I obviously, I've done a little bit of research myself. I obviously understand that one of the key differences with Spiel is there's no games hall. There's nowhere to actually sit and play the games that you've purchased. It is basically a massive shopping centre.
Yeah,
essentially, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah, it is. And the thing is that the place has 8 halls.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's ever a reason why you couldn't put a gaming hall in there. But I don't think they've ever done it. Maybe they don't want to, yeah. Maybe they want people hoarding around. Who knows?
Yeah, that's understandable. I guess at the end of the day, if people are sitting playing games, they're not buying games.
True, yeah.
So there is that. Now, in the times that you've been, had they done their restructure at that point where they started keeping everything in one section, like all family games are in one hall?
No, so I went the year before they did that. So
you haven't been since they done the restructure?
No, so yeah. So I believe last year was the restructure. I went the year before.
Right.
So I went 2022.
So being the fact that you haven't witnessed that yet, is that something you think could be a positive with regards to Spiel? That the fact that, okay, let's say I want sleeves and I want 3D printed stuff and I want gaming adjacent stuff. We now know that that's all basically in one hall.
Yes.
Do you think that's a better thing knowing as that, well, I just go to that hall for that?
100%. I mean, because when I did it for a couple of days, I wanted to go back to certain spots, but then one shop I wanted to go was next to CMON, and then the other one was next to CGE and whatnot. And it's like, if it's away from those and like in its own hall, then I can just, like you said, I'll go to Hall 5 and that's where all that is. And then later on, I'll go back to the big studios if I want to go do that. It would be a lot easier because I know that you have an app, you have maps and stuff, but you always try and think of it in your head. Or was it there or was it just over there?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it would be a massive help.
Okay.
If you like, I want to go to the RPG section. All right, let's go to Hall 4. All right, let's do that.
So I'm definitely interested in seeing how it plays out.
Most definitely.
Because I think it will help. Because I know that upgrades is one of the things on my list for this year is I want to check out all the upgrades. So it's going to be nice to go to that hall and maybe not have it as busy because
everyone's over there.
Everyone's in the big hall.
Yeah.
But then in itself, that makes me feel like the negative side of it is when it comes to the games that I'm there for, if everyone's crammed in those main halls, is it going to be so busy that I'm going to just end up walking past stands because I can't physically get to a stand?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what sort of the aisle spacing there? Is it dissimilar to the likes of Expo?
Yeah,
are they wider? Are they thinner?
I mean, I think they're roughly the same in honesty.
Okay.
It's how they space out their shops, because I believe Hall 1 was completely random. Like, you walked in, there was the Fancy Flight one end, and then next to that was the 3D printing shop, and then it would go to the HeroQuest stand and whatnot, and then there's a random merchant stand right there. So it wasn't like all the studios were around one another, you know. So it's very sporadic when I went, and again, you lose your, you know, wait, hang on, what did it say? So shall I start this way? Shall I go around or whatnot? So if they tidied it up and actually put it into certain halls, I think it would not have much congestion. Not have much congestion through those aisles.
Limiting the choke points, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's something I'm definitely interested in seeing, to see how they've organised that. You know, see if it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think something like that would work really for something like Expo because it's just not big enough really to do that. I guess you could section out the main halls so that you could do that. But yeah, when you've got halls at your disposal, you might as well go, well, this hall's for this, this hall's for this, this hall's for this.
If Expo had those as much exhibitors as they do for that, then 100%, I would understand why they would do that. But yeah, it's nice to have a mixture for Expo.
I've definitely said it a few times now with regards to Expo. I am not really interested in all the, I'll say board game adjacent stuff, but like plushies I'm not interested
bath
in
bombs and all that. It's
all of that.
yeah.
I love bath bombs. I'm a self-confessed bath. I can't say the word, but it starts with an S and ends in a T. But I love my baths.
Yeah.
I'm not at a games convention to buy bath bombs.
Exactly, yeah.
Stuff like that, all the the wicker stuff and all that. It's all really cool, really nice. It's not what I'm here for.
Yeah. And I do recall that I don't remember seeing anything like that at Essen. Like everything was board game orientated.
Okay.
Like even if it was just one selling play mats or the other one was selling different modular boards or whatever for something, or Kickstarter items, for example. Everything was nothing to do with plushies, fluffy hats, Japanese anime, rag dolls, whatever, I don't know what you call it, whatever, but you know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
It was all to do with the hobby, not some random one. It was just there.
Very nice. No, so yeah, I'm interested to see how that works. That's definitely something I'm very interested in. And
I'm interested because when I went, Warhammer wasn't there.
No,
and it is there this year. I don't know if it was there last year.
In a big way this year.
But it's in a massive way. It's in the hall this year.
You've got the Golden Demon going on there as well.
Yeah, so
in fact, they have their own ticketing level for Spiel this year. So that tells you how big they are.
There you go. So that'll be something new for me.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'll check them out. I generally don't give Games Workshop any of my money.
No, neither do I. But I like to have a look.
It'd be nice to see the stuff. And I think, I've been to Warhammer World. I've seen the amazing stuff they do up there. I think it'd be really good for you as a hobbyist to actually see some of the Golden Demon stuff that you will see throughout the weekend. These are the best painters in the world.
Right.
And you'll get to witness a lot of that in person.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
And so, usually with the Golden Demon, Games Workshop usually go all out on the displays.
They're going to have
so
to,
I'm really looking forward to seeing that because it's been many, many years since I went to Warhammer World. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So in your experience, is there a certain thing that I should keep my eye out for, be it good or bad? Is there something that stood out to you that you think, oh yeah, he might enjoy seeing that, or a certain stand or anything like that?
That's a tough question. But I know there might be one thing that you'll be interested at because I literally dropped to my knees when I saw it.
Okay.
And that was the ever massive long glass window hall of unlimited, unmatched boxes and tournaments, people dressing up as the characters and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if they have that this year, but it's not. See, from what I remember, Essen doesn't do like the tournament type things normally. Like with Expo, you've got Crokinole, you've got Unlimited, you've got all the, Star Wars Armada and all that. I think just to help promote Unmatched at the time, they did that whilst I was there.
Yeah.
And I had a picture of me like my knees with the big poster next to all these editions of Unmatched.
Well, I know
whether they have it this year or not, I don't know.
I know they've got a tournament for it this year.
Oh, okay. There you go.
They probably will.
Yeah. So that might interest you in a way.
Well, I know
you're a big fan of it.
I also know that they're going to be selling slings and arrows there, so I will be at that stand.
There you go.
I will be at that stand. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking out that. I know one thing everyone seems to say to check out is the what is it, like the potato on the
that's in
cut potato on a stick or something?
So basically, smack bang in the middle of the exhibition hall is a massive food aisle, and it's like street food, if you would. Yeah. Long mess, and you can't ignore it, mate, because the smell is glorious. You've only got to go outside and you can smell the bratwurst and whatnot. Yeah. Oh my! Like I said,
God. I've been to Germany once when I was a kid, and the food in Germany is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I will say it now. I'm going to live on bratwurst while we're out there.
Yeah,
bratwurst
and I don't blame you for it, mate. I tried it for the first time there, and it was glorious. But no, you're talking about the potato chip thing that goes around in the stick sort of thing.
The one, yeah.
See, I didn't have it because it was quite expensive. I find that's quite a lot of money for just a crisp at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and it was like
ultimately a jacket potato that's
been cut into crisp shapes and it swirls around the thing. And it was about €8 at the time. I can imagine it being like 10 or 12 now. Yeah. But not just that. There's a whole range of foods there. Like there's kebabs and there was Chinese food and whatnot. And you've got a massive, good selection of stuff there at the end of the day. So that is definitely one to check out if you fancy it, that is. But
yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I don't plan on spending lots of money on food.
No.
We're going to be eating before we go to the venue and when we get back from the venue. But I know as a proud fat man, the second I smell good food, I'm likely going to get hungry at the correct times. And I'm probably going to have something, but
you've got to, mate.
I'm more than likely going to default to the bratwurst because I don't eat bratwurst that often.
Right.
And when I find a good bratwurst, I make sure I have one or two or 100.
You've got to, mate. Honestly. Just seeing it being cooked and stuff just gets me going. Oh.
We used to have I don't know if you ever saw it, the bratwurst stand that used to come into the town centre at Christmas.
No.
It was amazing. It hasn't been here for a couple of years, but they were so good.
Okay.
And they had like a cheese-filled one, and it was amazing.
If I knew that, I would have been in town more often.
Yeah, you used to bite into it, and it'd be like molten cheese just spitting out all over your face. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, stop and make me hungry.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk about food, really. I haven't eaten dinner. Once again, my problems.
But it's funny you say that. I remember when, obviously, the bratwurst thing, they had a massive Carcassonne stand for kids to play it at the time. So whilst you're waiting for your food, you can actually play a massive game of Carcassonne at the same time. It was quite cool.
Nice. So I guess an extension of that, is there certain things you think I should 100% check out?
It depends what you're up for, really. I mean, if you've got like a favourite publisher or whatnot, then go check them out. They'll have everything. But it all depends what you're after, really, isn't it? Because I guarantee you'll find it there. There were times where I was like, even trying to find old expansions for older games and stuff. And there's people that sometimes are there selling their collection and whatnot at the end of the day. And I was just like, and it's not like a bring and buy, it's like an actual store.
Yeah.
I don't really remember a bring and buy sort of thing being there.
No.
But, you know, people are selling their Kickstarter collections and stuff
proper
like that.
pre-loved games.
Absolutely, and they're all still sealed and whatnot. I think that's how I managed to get hold of my expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak as well, because CG totally sold out.
Yeah.
And then I found a guy selling it in his Kickstarter collection. I was like, I'll take that. Yeah. You know, so again, it all depends what you're after, mate. But I guarantee it will be there.
I love the idea of the pre-loved stuff. Something I definitely want to check out. It's actually trying to come by some games that maybe have been out of production for a few years. Yeah. You know, that I've never been able to actually own. Because, you know, again, I was skipping on just a little bit to the preparations, really, that I've been making. Is one of the biggest preparations is selling 80% of my collection.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of next week, 80% of my collection will have gone.
Yep.
You know,
and it'll go to a good cause, mate.
I've cut it all right down, but it's all in the effort of having a decent amount of money, not having to worry about money while we're there.
Yeah. About
the games and the games I want to buy. I don't intend on spending it all.
Yeah.
But if I need to, then I will.
Better to have it not needed, need not have it.
Exactly. So one more question for you before we start talking about the things that I've done to prepare, what you're doing to prepare. But I do have to ask, and this is not the first time that you've been at Essen. This is your
second.
This will be your second time?
Yeah.
What is it about Essen that makes you want to go back? As an example, I go back to Expo for the community and more because it's a massive gaming hall.
Yeah.
And I can be involved in lots of games when I'm there. That obviously is not at Essen. So what is it that makes you want to go back?
Let's start with the good part of it.
Okay.
Obviously for the podcast. Obviously for me, for minded. But no, I remember going there, and even though I was there the whole 4 days, we was there. No, tell a lie, I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday last time. I still feel like I could have done more with it. Mm-hmm. Like I spent most of the Friday and the Saturday purchasing, looking for stuff, and then I kind of ran out of money by the Sunday, so I was just demoing everything on the Sunday. And I felt like I could have done a bit more with it. I could have looked at more independent board gamers that trying to promote their board games and stuff. I could have spent more time with that, but because there was either a long queue to get the demo or I just didn't like the look of it, you know, I shouldn't do that this time. Maybe just actually give it a try and actually talk to these potential publishers and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I got so overwhelmed with the purchasing of stuff because there was stuff that I just never imagined to be there. Like, not just a guy selling Kickstarter stuff, but there was an actual stall that was selling games that weren't even going to be out months and months to release, or certain playmats that I was after that never knew existed. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was overwhelmed by that, and I should have maybe done this next time. So I needed to go back and just to say I fulfilled the full Essen experience. Right. You know? So that's why I wanted to go again.
Okay.
And obviously show you the ropes as well. It's obviously going to be laid out definitely, but it's nice to show someone it as well at the same time. So
definitely. I mean, yeah, I'm going for the Essen experience. Yeah, this is the holy grail of conventions within the board game industry, within the board game hobby.
Yeah,
it is the biggest one in the world. You know, obviously Gen Con's huge.
Yes,
but Essen is the big.
Is the granddaddy, isn't it? Yeah.
And
the OG.
I always find it hilarious because obviously everyone, including us, refer to it as Essen. It's not called Essen; it's called Spiel. You know,
Essen's where it actually stood at. Yeah,
yeah, Essen is the city.
Yeah. But also another reason was I kind of enjoyed it a lot more was to see. I follow a lot of YouTube influencers that do the board gaming stuff, and I got to meet a lot of them, and they were like really down to earth.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, at the time I went, COVID was still a thing, so we had to wear masks at the time, so I couldn't really have a proper full-on conversation with these celebrities at the times. One more thing, another reason. Sorry, I forgot to mention just now. At Essen, you can actually get to meet some of the creators of your favorite board games and stuff.
Yes.
And they have a little section at certain studios where it says, come back at this time and you can come and meet them. That's another thing I like to do as well, because I got to meet a couple. I think if I can get a couple more in this time, that'd be really good as well. So yeah. Yeah,
there was a few that I was hoping to meet. Annoyingly, they've booked in to be in that particular place late Saturday afternoon, which, for the record, we're only going Thursday and Friday, and then I think we're going to try and go in there Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But our flight would be...
our flight. I think we have to be there for like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we can maybe go for a little bit in the morning, but that's going to be about it for us. So yeah, I miss out on those, but I'm likely going to see them dotted about the place.
And this might be the only time you'll go again, mate. So.
I can well believe this is not the first. It is the first, but it won't be the last.
It won't be the last.
So yeah, it's preparations have obviously already started. As with Expo, I tend to start my preparations quite early on.
Yeah.
This one I find I'm doing a lot more, though. I think there's a lot more preparation with this one.
You kind of have to, really, because there's a lot more involved, especially when you go to different countries.
Yes. Yeah, and I kind of feel like, we ran through a few things before we went online, because, it's not often we get to sit down and actually have a chat before doing, before we're playing a game or before we're recording.
Because the annoying second voice is always here, that's why.
Well, yeah, James. It's all James's fault. It's always James's fault. But this one I feel like I had to, because obviously with a lot of things I do a lot of the organising with regards to Meeple Minded.
Yep.
And because I haven't been out the country in so long, because I haven't flown, because I haven't been through airports before, because I haven't hired a car abroad before, there's a lot more stuff that I'm sort of trying to learn on the fly.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I've got all my bases covered. So, a lot of my preparation is actually nothing to do with the spiel itself.
Yeah.
But, I'll talk about them a little bit. Obviously, the first thing, the key thing is ensuring all the, ticks are done on the checklist for the travel, right? Have we booked our flights? Yes. Have we paid for our flights? Yes. Most importantly, which I think a lot of people forget, is have we got insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have, which is good. We also have our car hire.
Jake?
I went through some of the fine print on that earlier on, and I'm glad I did, because I found some things on there that I didn't know. With regards to having certain amounts.
And when you mentioned
it
earlier, I didn't know either myself. So
these are all things that I feel that my advice, despite the fact that it's my first time, for anyone out there, my advice is make sure you read the fine print.
Totally,
because one of the ones was the credit card for the car hire, having to have a physical card there.
I think it's kind of like with hotels. When you book a hotel room now, you have to put a credit card aside or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just backup for them.
But I just, I might not have done that purely because it's like, well, I don't carry my credit card with me all the time.
But if you didn't know,
and if I didn't know, we'd get there and then suddenly we'd be up the creek without a paddle, because it's like, well, you're not having a car because you don't have this. It's like, okay, this is a problem to overcome. Yeah. Luckily, we now shouldn't have to overcome that. So preparation for me is ensuring our travel, our accommodation, our car hire, basically all of the.
Because we weren't originally going to do the car, were we?
No, we weren't.
We were just going to train travel or whatnot. But then we thought, if we're going to be buying a lot of stuff, how are we going to get it back?
Yeah, because we ended up having to change the accommodation that we were staying in as well. we're now staying a bit further out, and the train connections there aren't quite as good. We'd actually have quite a walk to get to the train station from where we're staying. The decision was just made. It was just easier to get a car,
made it easier, and a better way to store stuff as well at the end of the day. So,
another preparation I'm going to actually make right now. I've never driven abroad, so
me neither.
I'm going to ask you to remind me when we're there to drive on the right side of the road.
Right side, Jason. Right.
Because I know that I remember.
You can imagine, get away!
Yeah,
I garbage.
we went on holiday when I was a kid. We went to Paris, and my dad was driving, and he drove on the wrong side of the road, and it was all awful. It was terrible. It was hilarious. I thought it was funny as a kid. I don't want to do that. So let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Especially when they've got my credit card.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We won't do that. But like travel wise, have you done anything that you want to prepare for it, or are you leaving it all to me?
No, I mean I've done my fair bit, but the issue last time I went with Bored Stupid Guys is Wayne did everything.
Yeah,
he booked everything, and if there was an issue, one of the other members from Bored Stupid would help him out, or whatnot. So I haven't really prepared as much as you. I mean, obviously I've been with you whilst we booked it, but the little things you mentioned about the fine print, I never knew because I've personally never rented a car.
No,
I've always had my own car at the end of the day. So, or if I've gone away into America and my parents have driven. So I've never ever done it myself. So
no,
I've not prepared as much, but
that's fair. You've done a bit on the British side though, when you're driving us to Heathrow and stuff.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, as much as I don't mind the bus travel, it's coming off a late flight, it's waiting for a bus to go to another airport, to wait for another bus, and then get home through that. It's just carrying all that stuff as well. I'd rather just get off the plane, get our bags, get on the car and go. Yeah.
Straight onto the M25 car park.
And that's it, straight away. And it shouldn't be too bad on a Saturday night, in all fairness. But
Saturdays is usually pretty good. I think getting down there when we're leaving could be
an issue, but we'll see. It's a Wednesday. It shouldn't be too bad.
I don't know. I have to drive it on a Wednesday.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, hopefully we will. At the end of the day, we can plan that on the morning. But if we wake up, I know we're both quite early risers.
We're both doing our fair share driving. Let's put it that way.
We are, yes, indeed. So, you're planning on the British side. I'll be doing the planning on the
right side,
on the German side, on the right side.
The
was it the left side, the right side? I don't know. They drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah,
so
idiots.
There you go. If this doesn't feel natural, you're doing it right.
We've just lost our German subscribers now.
And they were all going to come and see us and everything.
Yeah.
So we've done a bit of planning for that. I've obviously planned through our Spiel tickets. They're all purchased. They're all done. One thing I'm planning on doing with that though is I'm going to actually download them. Because I know you can open your email and scan in and all that kind of stuff. I want to actually download these to my Google Wallet so that if Wi-Fi is an issue or my signal's an issue, we won't have an issue with getting in. So
I'm so glad you said that.
That's a plan. I've already done that. That's ready to go. I say it every time when we go to a convention, and it's something I do religiously. I am buying myself a new pair of trainers, good quality pair of trainers, and I will be breaking them
to do all that walking in.
To do all that walking in, protecting my feet, because I'm expecting a lot of walking at this one. I think this is going to be far more walking than Expo. I'm assuming I'm correct.
Double the amount of walking as Expo. Again, it's 3 extra halls in the day, so it will be.
Yeah, and obviously with Expo, we quite often get the exhibition done quickly, and then we're sat down playing games. So I obviously am aware that's not a thing here. This is... And it's open longer as well, isn't it? From what I remember. It's open till 7
Only about another hour. It's not majorly. Right. No, but yes, it's... Yeah.
Yeah, so slightly longer day, less chances to sit down. Is there a lot of seating for those that want to sit down, though?
Yeah, I was going to kind of bring this up. So every hall that you go into has an exit to the side of it, and it will take you to not so much a seating area, but it's an outdoor area, so you can smoke, chill out, eat bratwurst, whatever you want. There aren't essentially seats there, but if the floor's dry, you can put your coat on there and sit down, whatnot, and just catch your breath, whatnot. But it's not like you've got to go to a certain part of the exhibit and do that. Every single hall
they've got their own
an exit to the side or whatnot, and you can just pop out if you need to do.
It's like a decompression zone, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely. I mean, there are essentially tunnels that take you, aisles, halls that take you to the next hall. Right. But if you want to grab a breath and get some fresh air in the meantime, just side door, walk out the other side door and go into the other side door into the hall. It's very clever. Yeah. And it's much better than now I've got to go. I'm in hall 6, I've got to go all the way back to hall 1 just to go catch some air. Don't need to do any of that. That's good then. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll definitely be scoping out the decompression zones and stuff when I'm there because... Yeah, I know what I'm like in big crowds.
No, same as me. I mean,
I need to know where I'm going.
I used to have my fair share of big crowds. I don't mind, but now I'm getting older. I was like, there's too many people. I need to get my own space and just move out a bit. We're middle-aged
at the end of the day.
Right? No, how dare you, Jason? We can't say that.
We're at that point. It's like we're middle-aged. We need to know where the decompression zones are, where's the food stands, and where's the toilets.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
3 most important things.
Yeah.
The games come secondary, after all of that.
Yeah.
So yes, they are some key things that I'm going to be looking out for when we arrive. So I did have another thing that I've been advised to prepare for going abroad is to ensure. I never knew this was a thing, right? It was to prepare and make sure that your cards or your credit and debit cards are usable abroad. I thought that was just a given thing. Really.
So I use a Revolt card. I don't know if you've ever used it at all, but it's fantastic.
Right.
You can subscribe to it for free charge, but on your phone.
Yeah.
But if you want an actual credit card, I think it's like a $5, something like that. I put all my money in that, and it uses just like a normal chip and pin card, and it's global. You can use it anywhere. Because if you use your actual bank card, you'll get charged. Right. You'll get charged like an EU commission or whatever it is or whatnot. With this, it's not because it just recognises it as a normal EU card. Fantastic. Honestly, it will convert it into euros as well on there and everything, and you can just you can get an app and you go, I'll pop 20 quid in today and I'll put another 10 in.
So it's sort of like a cash top-up card, basically.
Yeah, but it's like a credit card without having a credit card. But you top up the card, if you will. And you can use it here as well. Like if you forgot your card and you've got a Revolt, I'll pay for my fish and chips juice with that instead. And whatnot. It's brilliant. I highly recommend you use that. And anyone who goes to use Revolt, is it Revolt or Revolt? I can't pronounce it anyway. But you know what I mean. It's really good.
I might ask you to show me that.
I will.
When we're done recording. But that sounds like very good advice.
Yeah, actually. Honestly, mate.
It's something. So I think I remember again when I went to Germany with my school. You had like my parents got me like it looked like a debit card.
Yeah,
it was basically they just dumped a load of money on it.
Right.
And I was like, that's and you put it in a cash machine. You can see your bit, and all that. It was basically a card, but it was like they put money on it.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like it. Yeah, that kind of sounds like it. Yeah, but this is really good because like for the last year or so, I've been putting a tenner in a week.
That's and it's a really good idea.
Just add up to it, and it's like 500 quid done then by the time we get to Essen. So
that's really good. So I do actually have a second bank account, which I use solely for game conventions.
Because I asked this question to the Bored Stupid guys, and then they told me about this.
Right.
And then it's one of the best things I've ever had because you can use it, like I said, anyway. You want to go to America next week and go use it there if you want.
Fantastic.
Simple chip.
I will definitely get that information from you at the end.
Yes, go for it, mate.
Excellent. So that's obviously something that I recommend people do check. Obviously, with regards to the fees and stuff on your normal credit debit cards. I haven't looked into mine yet.
I believe certain banks do it, not all of them do. Yeah. Because if you ring them up and say, "Look, I'm going to Germany next week," or not, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you get a Revolt card, don't need to worry about that. No. Just pop your money in there and go spend.
Nice. I think that's probably the route I will go on that one. So there's that one. Now, obviously, an extension to that question is something I need to ask.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of Europe is a cashless society.
Right.
They really do prefer you not to carry cash. And a lot of places will not take cash. I work in London. Most places in London don't take cash anymore.
Yeah.
Is that something that you found in the time that you went to Spiel, or is it advised that I should probably have a little bit of cash? Because they're euros out there, right?
Yeah, it's euros.
Last time I went there, they were still on the Deutschmark.
Oh, bloody hell.
So,
it was a while then, yeah.
Yeah, hell of a long time.
Yeah, definitely take cash with you.
Right, okay.
Definitely.
If there was a percentage split ratio to places taking card to not taking
There's
card?
not an awful lot, but there are some big studios, like when I went 2 years ago, Cascadia was like the big thing at the time.
Yep.
And I actually went to, I can't remember the publisher who does it, Cosmos, whatever they're called. And they, at the time, I don't know if there was an issue with their card system or whatnot, but they were cash only.
That's surprising.
And that is very surprising. And
I'd somewhat expect it from the smaller companies and stuff.
Yeah, same.
I don't. I say I expect it. I don't. As someone who owns a small business, my gaming club, we have a card reader.
Yeah.
It's a PayPal one.
Yeah.
It all goes into a paper. Any small business can get them.
Yeah, and it's really weird because I think certain items as well are cash only, because I went to Plan.B store who do the Century Spice games.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted a specific playmat. So I bought the playmat with the cards, but then they had promo cards. They're like, oh no, that's cash only. That's €8 for that.
Right.
So it just seemed a bit odd how that was like that.
So you kind of need to have a bit of both.
Definitely have cash. And also, just a heads up, guys, there are some studios or some vendors there that only accept PayPal as well. So make sure you have a PayPal account as well, because I think it was Keen Bean Studios who did Roll Camera.
Yep.
They were a studio that only accepted PayPal. So just be mindful that you will, if there's something you need specifically and it's for that, you might need a PayPal account for it.
Right.
The 3D printer places where they did all the components and stuff, that was PayPal only as well. So just a heads up that.
Okay. Good to know. Very good to know. Luckily, I have a few PayPal accounts.
Well, there you go.
One for the business,
it's always helpful, isn't it, to have it?
One for my personal.
But it was just weird how I never knew that, because I wouldn't have put it on my Revolt card. I wouldn't have put it on cash only.
No.
If I knew certain studios were doing PayPal only. Just seemed odd. But yeah.
Okay. With regards to the cash side of things, is there plenty of cash machines out in Germany that you've seen, or is this something that I should be doing before we go?
So the issue is there is a fair amount around the exhibit hall, but because everyone's doing it,
they'll go quickly.
They'll go quickly. So I would recommend either you change some up at the airport before you go, and have a bunch of it then. Because again, if you don't use it, you can just switch it back and change it back at the end of the day. But it's just always better to have it with you than get it on the day.
Yeah.
It's
so
more
maybe a little bit before we go, and then maybe a top up while we're out there or something.
Yeah, the worst thing is finding a game you really want and they accept cash and you can't get cash, and then it's just it's annoying.
Yeah. All right. That's very good advice, Ant. Thank you very much.
That's all right. But also, if you're buying games, check the language, for crying out loud, because the majority of it will be in German. So just please make sure, because I made that muck up a couple of times when I went there.
No. So obviously it is, I guess, kind of common sense that a German convention is going to have a lot of German copies.
Of course it is, yeah.
But, especially if you're going for that really popular game, you're running for it. You see ones. Oh yeah, got it. Picked it up. That's when you're gonna do it, right?
Too good to be true, right?
Too good to be true. Yeah. You buy it, but then it's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late. I guess some stands might refund you the money, but
but if you've got guy who's selling his Kickstarter stuff, he won't at the end of the day.
No.
It's your muck up because you picked the wrong language.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just always check that they have your language in there.
Yep, nice. Very good advice. Not something I'd written down. So well done. This is why you're here, Ant. This is why I'm
trying to help out.
Okay, so now standard things for me. Clothing, nice loose clothing is what I would suggest, because I'm going to guess this place is hot.
Yes,
hot.
Absolutely.
I guess ventilation isn't the best, but
it wasn't too bad, because a couple of days it was fine because there's not many people. But when you go Saturday and Sunday, that's when you're going to be like, okay, this is let's go for those exit areas and have a breather for a sec.
Another reason that we're sticking to those first 2 days. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. Loose, baggy clothing, nice, comfortable footwear. Most important things to all expos, in my opinion. In fact, we've just covered my next point, which was money. Check if cards are the best tender or whether you would need to take cash. You've answered that nicely for us.
Storage-wise, take a bag at least, because most places won't give you a bag.
Yeah.
Unless you want to, again, pay for a tote bag.
Yeah. And it'll be a tote bag, not
exactly.
So that's a plastic bag.
That's an extra €8 on top of your price or whatever. Yeah. So just be mindful.
And this was something I have heard. You might not know the answer to this, but I've heard that backpacks are not allowed or not permitted at Spiel.
I had one when I went, unless the rules have changed since.
Right.
Then I don't know, mate. Honestly.
I've heard that, especially the board game backpacks are a no-go.
That makes sense because that's horrendous amount of space for something.
Yeah.
If it's like a normal backpack, I don't see what the issue is because you need to carry something. You need to carry water.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatnot.
I mean, I've got a side, I guess. I mean, they used to be called man bags, but I believe the term man bag has now been used with something else. So, you know, but yeah, I've got an old Warhammer side loading bag, so I'll be taking that. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do about game, like haulage at this point. Yeah. Because obviously my board game bag is a backpack and I don't intend on taking that. So it might be okay, because I believe, looking at the Essen Spiel website, you can actually get what we would refer to in the UK as an IKEA bag. You know, those big, massive, like look like industrial bags. I believe they do them as well, which I might invest in getting one of those. To if I'm,
I didn't actually know about it. I don't remember seeing it when I went, but if they do that now, then
it might be a new thing. It looks like they're doing a lot of new things this year because I believe they've got their own Spiel
than a
game
massive game ball
this year,
isn't it? Yeah. So
So lots of new stuff this year. Food planning. We've already planned that we're going to try and do as much at our accommodation.
We're going to try some stuff,
but Bratwurst are over and above that food planning. Drinks. This is going to be a hard one for me because since Expo, I know you're something similar, but me especially, I have given up the canned energy drinks.
Yes,
which is what I would usually be at least drinking to start with, as well as the heavy water consumption, which I will have. But I have cut those cans out. Yeah. I've switched on to the likes of the powdered energy drinks that we can get, but I don't really want to sacrifice a lot of my space in my bag.
Makes sense.
For a big powder pouch. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that yet. But
sachets would be a good idea.
Yeah. Potentially look into some sachets on that one.
From a certain company.
Someone said, why don't you put them, in little baggies, every serving, a 10-gram serving in a bag. I was like, I don't really want to be going through airport customs
with powder,
with powder in a pouch.
That's it, yeah.
So I don't think I'll be doing that. Don't think so. Wonder if they'll deliver to the accommodation.
Yeah, probably.
I doubt it.
Might take a few days.
It'll turn up the day after we leave or something. It. But that's going to be a thing. But lots of water. That will be my plan. I want to try and plan my purchases as much as possible. I have been doing lots of research. I've got a nice long, probably too long list of games that I'm interested in. Is that something you're planning? Are you sort of pre-planning a little bit on what you want to buy?
Yeah, so we talked about this a few days before this episode, and there's nothing, an awful lot amount that's really coming at me at the moment. There's a couple of things, but nothing that's really like, I need to go there and get this. When I went, the time I went, I had to study it for Bored Stupid's episode, so I looked into stuff, and there was stuff that really tickled my pickle. Yeah, but now there's a lot of stuff that I wanted that's already out now. Yeah, so I don't feel like I need to go the trip just for one or two things. Yeah. But there are things I want, but nothing like striking out to go, I need to go and get in the queue for that. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there's still a fair bunch of stuff, but not as much as there's time for.
I've got quite a list, unfortunately. Yeah. It is quite a list. But one thing I have enjoyed seeing after you pointed out a couple of things, some of the publishers are doing pre-orders. Yes. So some of the games that I was getting ready to run for, I've actually managed to secure on a pre-order.
And what a great idea now. I mean, that I feel better now because I know that's secured now. Yeah, that I don't have to rush.
And you are secured as well, because I was looking again, because I think one of the ones you did was the White Castle expansion.
It was, yeah.
Which is actually sold out.
Is it really?
It's sold out.
There you go.
They've got a note saying that it will be available at Essen, but
then you've got to run for it now.
You're now going to have to run for it. That means it's very limited on their supply. I think that pre-order system is really, really good if you can pre-order
It's fantastic. I mean, just pay now and then pick up there. It's another reason to go now, isn't it? Yes. So, I think a lot of other companies need to, get in on that, because
there seems to be a few that are doing it this year.
And at least they know they've got, they're making money still at the end of the day. So it's not like they're losing out or anything like that.
Exactly. Exactly. And I guess they don't have to store them on the stand either if they know. And
this is true. I know they put a thing up saying if you don't pick it up by the Saturday night, it goes back on the shelf. They're just going to sell it, But you will get your refund as well. But that's 3 whole days to pick up your copy. If you don't pick it up in 3 days, then you're an idiot. Sorry.
Exactly. I completely agree. Unless, of course, you message them saying, I'm not actually coming till the Sunday.
Yeah, if last minute.
They will probably help you out.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. So yeah, I'm planning my purchases as much as possible. I have pre-ordered a few things. This is actually a more of a meeple-minded thing, right? I am planning not only my purchases, but I'm having to plan picking up review copies because we've got a few review copies that we're going to be picking up while we are out there. But I have to plan for that because that is going to take up case space.
Yeah.
And with my big long list of games that I want to buy,
these are small games.
You know, some of them aren't, unfortunately, but yeah, I really need to bear that in mind. It's like, I can't go gun-ho on day one, buying loads of games, and then pick up a load of review copies on day two and go, we nearly had that issue at Expo this year.
We did, yeah.
We got we got a load of review copies on the last day when I'd already filled my bag full of games. We didn't have a car. Luckily, Paul was still there and he managed to take them back for us. So thank you very much for that, Paul. We won't have that.
Do you think he'll drive to Germany for us to do that?
Well, maybe. You know, he's back to his day job as a bus driver now. So
there you go.
Drive his bus over to Germany, load up the
pick up our stuff and off you go. Whole bus load of games. How good would that be, right?
That would be so cool. That would be very, very
really cool.
So yeah, planning those as well. Air travel. We don't have much space. If we were going by train, we could probably drag as many cases as we could physically hold. But we chose to fly.
We'll still get a fair amount in hand luggage. I did last time.
Yes,
so it's not too bad.
Yeah. I've got to the point. There's only one bit of clothing I'm taking with me that will 100% be coming back with me. If need be,
the rest of the clothes are staying.
The rest of the clothes are going to be binned in order to make room for games. But that one piece of clothing is something
we'll
we
be
have.
Fine.
We will. But we have new clothes.
We do. Yes. I was going to ask you. You're going to mention that.
I am because I'm very, very happy about it. We've got some brand new meeple-minded well, they're not t-shirts anymore.
Polo shirts.
We have professional polo shirts.
Yes.
We've obviously always worn meeple-minded gear.
Yeah.
When we've done these places, but they're t-shirts. They've got a big meeple-minded logo on there. They're branded merch, right? And anyone can have them.
Of course.
You know, they're all available on Redbubble.
Yeah.
They are also available on Amazon. Anybody can buy them. But, you know, looking past that, we wanted something that stood out just a little bit more, made us look a little bit more official or professional. So we went for the polo shirts, which arrived literally yesterday.
It did. And it does look the mutts, I have to say.
Yeah, you happy with it?
I do. I am really, really happy with it. And I think this is going to be a better way than what we did when we met Kim. And we were all in different shirts and no business cards or anything. And now we can actually look the business now.
Yes.
You know, and eye catches like, oh, okay, you guys obviously look like you're part of Prest or something. So yeah.
So we've obviously got the lovely branded shirts. They are actually the same blue as well. So we've got that nice vibrant blue as we walk around. We have
shiny logo.
Lovely business cards to be handing out to the publishers and designers while we're there. We've got some business cards to hand out to just general public promoting the show and stuff like that. So we've got some branding going with us, which I'm excited
and it's
to really get out there.
Well needed as well, mate, because we need to get out there more.
Yes.
So,
yeah, we are pushing it. It's a big year for us.
Absolutely.
So, everything's been growing quite exponentially, actually, in the last few months.
I can't wait to see James in a 3XL.
Yeah. Well, he's not going, so,
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. He's not going, unfortunately. It would be nice to have him there.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It'd be nice to have the actual trio there for it. But
fingers crossed next year, but it's an expensive outing, but we'll see. We'll see. So the biggest note I have on my big long list is in big capital letters, and it just says passport. Because obviously the issue
you have to please make sure it's this time, Jason. I don't want to go by.
I have a brand new passport. It's sat right behind me. It's been sat there since it arrived. I'm all good on the passport front. But for the love of God, if you are going to Essen, check the damn passport. Well, I mean, to be honest, if you're listening
hopefully
to this,
not the day before you go.
It's now too late.
Yeah.
So, don't turn up at the airport with an out-of-date passport. It's not advised.
Not advised.
Luckily, I didn't get that far last year. But
could you imagine if you did, though?
I also, I did the same problem last year. It was this time last year that I was preparing for it, and then that's when I realised, I probably should have checked that. So that's a shame. But that's all I've got on my preparations, Ant. Have you got anything else that you're preparing, or anything else that you think I'm missing?
No, I mean, I think we've pretty much... I mean, I've got my notes, but we've pretty much ticked them all off, what I wrote down. So, yeah, just please take note with taking cash, PayPal payments as well. Get yourself a Revolt card if you can. It's so easy to do. And make sure you get the actual English language version of the game.
I love the fact that we're having to put that in.
Yes, because I bought Feed the Kraken, and then when I opened up the box, the back of the box is English, but the instructions were German.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go online and reprint an English one.
Right.
So I don't know how that happened, or if it's just like a manufacturer thing that they didn't realise it did or whatnot. But yeah,
it's weird that the back of the box is in English and the rule book was not.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of other games that I really wanted. I think it was just like simple card games, but I only found out that they only printed the game in French and German.
Right.
Which is really weird because I watched it on Watch It Play.
Yeah.
And it was an American copy of it, so it was in English. So I was like really tempted to get it. Here it is. Oh, we've only got it in French and German. Oh, right. Okay. So you might be bummed out if certain games aren't in your language full stop.
Yeah.
But hey, just keep an eye on it.
There you go. There you go. So, Ant, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, baby.
3 weeks.
Or 2 weeks at the time of recording. The episode gets released, sorry.
2 weeks by the time it's released, but 3 weeks from today, day one will be over.
We will be there,
I will be shattered, undoubtedly, but I'm sure we'll be playing games by this point.
This time now, we've probably finished dinner and, eating. Yeah. Playing games now,
Playing games, yeah. Tied it up. Games are out on the table.
That's it.
There'll probably be a game set up on the bed, game set out on the table, and we just sit round them all.
It's happening, mate. You know it.
We're going to make sure it happens. We're going to be playing lots of games while we're there, I think.
Oh, hang on. Actually, one more little thing.
Oh, yes.
This might help on the weights side of your bag.
Okay.
So, obviously, when you open up your box and you punch all the components out or the excess cardboard, it makes a difference. So, make sure you punch out your boards and get all your components out properly in your board games and take out all the excess rubbish of it, because it will add up to your baggage if you're flying on the way back. So that was a big difference for me, especially the games I had at the time.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that you will probably have to remind me when I'm there, because I'm one of those that once I've punched, I usually put them under the insert.
Yeah, see, a lot of people do that.
So yeah, that will cut my weight down quite a bit.
It definitely will, mate, honestly, because it took mine down a lot. I think mine was like nearly 20 and I got it down to 15.
Wow.
So, and I had a few in that bag as well. So it does make up for it at the end of the day.
I wonder if our accommodation comes with a set of scales.
That would be helpful. That would be helpful.
Might see if they'll bring one over for us, the old B&B. But so there's only really one more thing that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
On this before we sign off, and that is more of a meeple-minded thing. Obviously, we are going to be at Essen. I would like to extend the olive branch to anyone that is listening that is actually going.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Say, if you see us, please do come and say hello. We are very, very nice people, believe it or not.
We are.
We might, slander you. We might shout at you. Might beat you down to a bloody pulp. But no, we won't.
No.
We won't. We're very, very nice people. Very accommodating. It would actually be really nice to meet some people out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's happened a few times at Expo, and it's very humbling.
Yes.
When it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think you've actually been with us when it's happened as of yet.
A couple of times at Expo, but they're other studio companies that you've met beforehand and whatnot. So, but again, it was just nice to see people come up and say hello to you guys and whatnot. So, if we could actually get that in Essen, that'd be freaking great.
It would be amazing. Yeah. It would be amazing. But yeah, if you are going and you want to meet up with us, please do. You can message us and we'll try our best to fit you in. We have booked in quite a few things while we're out there at the minute, but we're going to try and meet up with a few people. We're going to meet up with our good friends Bored Stupid.
Yes,
we're out
hopefully,
there as well, try and get a bit of content. But that's the key thing I want to get away here. We are going to be producing, hopefully, lots of content while we're out there. We're going to be doing some vlogs on the way there, on the days.
And on the way back as well, trying to get back.
And on the way back.
All back in our baggage.
Yeah. Hopefully, touch wood, I'm going to try and do a daily video while we're out there.
Yeah.
So hopefully at the end of day one,
Just a quick recap.
A few hours later, you might, fingers crossed, get a video from day one.
Yeah.
The only day that might not happen will be the Saturday because obviously we'll be flying back. So that might go out on the Sunday. But yeah, that's the thing I wanted to say. If you are there, let us know.
Please, yeah.
We would love to meet up with you. I would say play some games, but I don't know the lay of the land.
Yeah.
So we'll always stand and have a chat with you, unless if we're booked in to go somewhere, we'll stand and chat with you. But we might, we'll always be polite and sort of say we're really sorry, we've got to go and do this. However, we'll try and meet up with you in a little bit or something like that. So yeah, that's all we're going to say. It's gone a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, wow.
I really thought we were going to bash this out in about half an hour, but there you go.
There we go.
Full-length episode.
That's it, mate.
The first one about Essen. There will be more. We've got plans.
We do.
We've got to talk about the games that we're interested in, Ant.
Which I'm sure will be next week, right?
Potentially next week, yeah, depending on availabilities and stuff like that. But yeah, we will have a couple more Essen episodes, and I'm sure after
try not
Essen,
to rub it in James's nose too much.
We'll proper rub it in James's face. And then, of course, after Essen, we'll do our Essen roundup. Talk about the purchases we made and
experiences and whatnot.
And the experiences we've had. I'm definitely going to be talking about my experience because I bet I'm going to be high as a kite when I come back.
Totally.
Not in the bad way. High on life.
Stop snorting that powdered energy drink, Jason.
But yes, I think we can sign off for a week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. So till then, I have been Jason.
I've been Ant.
And you have been listening to the very excited Meeple Minded. Join us next week for more tabletop gaming goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.